Hi everybody, it's Lisa from Lisa's Paper Passion coming to you to present a tutorial for Miriam's crafting blog. And this month for April 2014, we're continuing on the theme for textures. And this is my third design team project for her this month. And this one's going to be a quick little tutorial. And the tutorial is not going to be for the card that you see in front of you. I made this card using this little burlap dress form that I made through a different folding. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching you how to do. The card itself is pretty simple because after you make this, you know, that's pretty much your centerpiece, and whatever you add to it is a bonus. But you don't want to do too much to it because you want this middle piece to stand out, the dress itself. So I did have a lot of fun making this card. After I did the dress form, I added some trim to the side, and then I made the dress form kind of fancy by adding this lace trim that I had. And then one of the funnest parts is how I made the sleeves of the dress. As you can see, I didn't glue them down because it was just more interactive if you don't. That way people can lift it up and look at it. But the way I did that is really interesting. Oh, also, sorry, before I forget, this piece is also from Miriam's Crafting blog. The wood button is from Miriam's Crafting blog. These are some Mod Podge melts that I have, and the rest of the items are from my stash. But I wanted to show you quickly how I made these, and this was one of my favorite parts. Like I said, I took a leaf. These are leaves that Miriam sells in her store. And what I simply did is just folded it over, just like that. These are pretty flexible. I mean, they're not paper thin. They do have substance to it, but I love the fact that you can fold it. And see, that's how I got the sleeve of the dress. The little strap. And I did make it three-dimensional because, you know, straps of dresses are not flat. They go around your shoulder. So that's how I did that. And forgive me for my fingers. I was using black acrylic paint last night, and no matter what I do, I can't get it out. And I'm planning to paint some more today. But anyway, on with the tutorial. So I took a 6x6 piece of white burlap that's available in Miriam's store. I used to think burlap just came in that regular brown burlap color, which I love working with, but she challenged us to work with colors this month, which she has available for sale. So I chose white because I figured I could do a lot of things with white. You can paint it, you can spray it, which I ended up doing. So here is the white. Sorry, this was the white, and then I painted this one. I know it's not as it's not saturated in color, but I didn't want it really saturated in color. And this is the color that I used. It's a Dilutions spray. It's actually, I'm sorry, this is not the one I used. That's the one I grabbed. This is the one I used. Perfect Pearls Forever White. And as you could see, it's not very bright, which I loved. I just did like a light spraying of it. And burlap, you know, is not like paper. Burlap will suck up all the color. So, one more thing I wanted to show you before I started the tutorial. I was watching a video on YouTube, which I will link to, and she teaches you how to do paper dresses by different folding techniques. So these are just some of the ones that I've been doing. I've been folding like crazy. These are really pretty for cards, any type of projects. And as I was doing these ones, these are just a sampling of some of the ones that I've done. This being one of my favorite ones. And this is just, you know, printer paper. So you could pretty much work with any type of medium. So I decided to choose this burlap to make a dress form. And that's how I came up with this one. This was my first try. And it is more challenging to fold burlap. I don't know if this would work with fabric because of, you know, the fabric when you fold it wouldn't stay in place. But what I found helped me a lot is to have my glue gun plugged in. And as I experimented, I just kind of glued things together. So here we go. Let me show you how to make this. You could see I kind of folded it. I tried this tutorial one time and I dropped my camera on the floor. So, but that's okay. We keep going on. Okay, so you can make this in any size that you want. It doesn't have to be square piece. I just happen to use a square piece because my card is a 6x6 card. Actually, I think it's larger than that. But I wanted to make a size for this card, and that's the size that I used. So you take your piece and you fold it in half. And again, with burlap, it might be kind of hard to work with. So if you want to just kind of press it down to get an impression. Now, this is still a little wet, which I'm actually finding in my favor because it's more moldable. So after you fold it in half, you flatten it out. You kind of note your fold mark right there, and it's kind of hard to see with the burlap, but you can see it. So then I'm going to take my edges and go towards that fold. So I have this. Okay, then I flatten it out. Then I take the fold that I just did and fold towards the middle. So it's kind of like the quarter. Okay, so you press it down with your hand. I'm pressing heavily on there so I could make the fold mark. Okay, so you have this. So this middle pleated section here is the front of your dress. Okay, so now you're going to take this and pinch with your fingers and pinch forward. So press down, and this is what you're going to have. So this is the bottom of the dress, this is the top of the dress. Okay, usually now with the paper, you don't have to glue along the way. But since this is burlap, I found it best to glue along the way because that way, you know, when you're onto your next step, it doesn't unfold. So what I'm going to do is I want this pleat to come out a little bit. So I'm just kind of lift this up a little bit. Just like that. Now you could make this, you know, if you like the way it is closed like that, you can leave it like that. But what I'm going to do is stick a little bit of glue gun right there. Not glue gun, but the glue. And press down. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I know I'm upside down, but that way I could flip over. Okay, so this is what you have. This is my bottom. Okay, next we're going to do the top part of the dress. I'm just making sure that this is kind of glued down without burning myself, as I often do. You can even put some glue here. You're securing the dress down before you're starting the top fold. Okay, and if you want to practice it on a piece of paper, I would highly recommend that before you try the burlap or any other material, because paper is easier. Okay, so now we're going to work on the top part. Okay, so you see this corner here? It's kind of fuzzy, so let me cut that little piece off. Okay, so you're going to take this piece and fold it down, but you don't want to go past this corner. Okay, you're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so now we have this. Then we're going to flip it around, straighten out what you just folded. Now this part on the dress, the paper part took me the longest to figure out because she did it so fast. Okay, then you're going to flip this down and flatten out right here. That's why you didn't want to fold past that part. See how I'm flattening it out? And the reason you're flattening it out because you don't want to see that part in the back. Okay, so at this point, glue that down. Okay, we're gluing that down. Okay, then you go back to the front and you're going to take this little, let's see, how did I do it? This one, I'm sorry, no, that's right. Okay, leave that alone. I'm thinking of the back. Okay, so now we have this. This is the front. This is the bottom. Now we're going to go to the back because we don't really want these edges. We want the dress to go in. Okay, and on the burlap, I found that it created some really nice texture, like right here. It kind of created a bust, which on the paper version, it doesn't do that since it's flat. Okay, so now we're going to go to the back of the dress. And we're going to glue this part down, which in the paper form would be folded. So I'm going to take some glue and fold that down. You might want to press on it for a while, and you might need to put some more glue on it, but nobody's going to see the back of it because it's going to be on a card or whatever you're going to use it for. You can even make a bunch of these and hang it for like a bridal shower. Wouldn't that be cute? And the burlap gives it so much texture. So I'm going to fold the other side. So this is how it's looking in the front. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm going to put some glue there. I'm watching my time because I'm at 10 minutes and I don't want to go over 15 or else YouTube yells at me. Although I am allowed to record more than 15, but the program that I use kind of gives me a hard time. Okay, so here we are. And let's see. Oh, so for the top part, on the paper version, you would take it and fold it over to give it a sleeve. But on the burlap version, I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave the top just as it was because I was going to then take my leaf and use it as a sleeve. So on the paper version, you know, it's a little bit different. That's why my tutorial is a little bit different. And then at this point, what I did at this point actually is then I took the card and I glued this down to the card. And since you see these edges sticking out, I glued down this part to the card, and then I took my glue gun and put a little bit of glue on this part and glued it down so to hide these rough edges. Now, if you like the rough edges, you know, more power to you, but I didn't on the skirt because you usually don't see that on a skirt. So I hid these rough edges by putting a little bit of glue and then gluing it down on a card. And then you go to town decorating it. You know, I had a lot of fun decorating this card, as you saw. But that's the basis of the tutorial. At this point, you can do anything you want to it. I added a little bit of glue here just to hold it down. But if you like the flaring part, you know, on your project, you just leave it as it is. And this is the card that I made with this dress. Hope you like this tutorial. Go and check out Miriam's crafting blog for white burlap or any of the materials I use. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a blessed day.